सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Shri Radhe. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayo Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sankirtan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So Hare Krishna, welcome to our Sunday Feast program, this week's Sunday Feast program. Today we'll be speaking on the 9th verse of the first chapter of the Gita and a few verses after that as well, predominantly about Bhishmadev. So we'll just do a quick Mangala Charan and then we'll get started. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We'll do the verse now. Prabhuji, the verse. Ninth text, please. Sanskrit. Please repeat after me. Anyecha bhavaha shura. Anyecha bhava shura. Mad arte tyata jivata madarte tyakta jivata nana shastra praharanaha nana shastra praharanaha sarve yuddha visharadaha sarve yuddha visharadaha anye cha bahava shura mad arte tyakta jivataha nana shastra praharanaha sarva yuddha visharadaha. Would anyone like to chant? Anye cha bahava shura mad arte tyakta jivata nana shastra praharnaha sarve yuddha visharadaha anye cha bahava shura mad arte tyakta jivata nana shastra praharanaha sarve yuddha visharadaha. Anybody else would like to try? Anye cha bahava shura mad arte tyakta jivitaha nana shastra praharanaha sarve yuddha visharadaha. Okay, we'll go to word-to-word translation. Word-to-word translation. Anye, others. Cha, also. Bhavaha, in great numbers. Shura, heroes. Mad arte, for my sake. Tyakta jivataha, prepare to risk life. Nana, many. Shastra, weapons. Praharanaha, equipped with. Sarve, all of them. Yuddha visharadaha, experienced in military science. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. Please repeat after me. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. As far as the others are concerned, like Jayadratha, Kritvarma, and Shalya, all are determined to lay down their lives for Duryodhana's sake. In other words, it is already concluded that all of them would die in the battle of Kurukshetra for joining the party of the sinful Duryodhana. Duryodhana was, of course, confident of his victory on account of the above-mentioned combined strength of his friends. We will just speak the translation of the next few verses, and it will give more context. It's just the translation, bro. Our strength is immeasurable, and we are perfectly protected by Grandfather Bhishma. whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited. Next verse. All of you must now give full support to Grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. Next verse. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. After that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. Jai. So we'll just do the Mangalachan, rest of the Mangalachan. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindabaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhobhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Kaudavani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastyatya Deshatarine. So, welcome again to our Sunday Feast program. Today, I thought it might be a nice choice of topic to talk about Bhishmadev, a very prominent character within the Mahabharat and a very charismatic, interesting character that is like an example for all devotees across the world. And just recently, there was the festival of Makar Sankranti. That is a festival that is celebrated by millions of people across the world. And on the same day, it also marks the death or disappearance of Bhishmadev. So it's very topical, very relevant for the time. One of the main points of Bhishmadev is that his death is a subject that many scholars have been studying for thousands of years, because it has so many lessons within it. Now, death is something that in today's world is very taboo. It's something that not many people want to think about. People don't want to even hear or get reminded of death. You see, whenever they bring out the topic or the subject of death within a conversation, people will feel uncomfortable because they're not used to it. Death in funerals, they have closed caskets, so people cannot see a dead body. Whereas there's a different concept within India that people have open fire funerals, where it's very, very visible. In the Western world, they have furnaces where they put the body in, close the door. They don't want to see the body being burned or any reminder of death. But it's very different for a devotee's perspective. So it's actually strange that death is such a taboo topic that people don't want to be reminded of, but it's happening all around us. People will be scared of death. People will be very uncomfortable when death comes up in a conversation. But for a devotee, it's explained that the devotee is always thinking about their death. They're always thinking about death because they're always thinking about how they can die properly, how they can die in the best position they are in. There's one philosopher, I forgot the philosopher's name, but I heard this quote somewhere that, and many people would circulate it on their WhatsApp statuses and everything. There was this quote saying that the most important days within one's life is the day you're born and the day you find out why. Which actually for a devotee is kind of the opposite of what we think. For us, the most important days is the day we found out why and the day we die, right? Because the day we find out why is talking about the purpose of life. What is the life for? And the day that we die is the conclusion. It's the test of everything that's been going on in our lives. Has it been worth it? Have we been doing things right? So death is a very important subject that one should meditate on, think about. In India, there are these tribes of sort of sadhus, Shaivites, that they constantly remind themselves of death by applying ash on their bodies because they want to keep thinking about, that death is right around the corner. In Shastra, it's explained that one of the most fantastic, amazing, perplexing things in life is that in your entire life, everybody's life, at some point, someone has seen or been reminded of death. And they've been reminded over and over again, yet for some reason they still live by the mentality that they might not die. They live like they won't die. So, what should we do as devotees? It's stated that we should just accept death is something that will be there at the end for all of us. Death is there in this world. We should come to the reality of it. Do not avoid talking about it, because it's actually a very important chapter, very important part of everyone's life. So one should study and find out about death, study death. What is it like? What is on the other end of death? How to prepare for death. These are everything that one should find out why. And one very, very nice example of how to die properly is how Bhishmadev did it. His story, his death, is a very, very important example for everyone. So we don't have enough time to talk about Bhishmadev's life, but I thought it's very important to talk about something about him. So I will just narrate his birth, I'll narrate his death, and then we shall discuss some nice lessons we can take from both of these. So who here knows who Bhishmadev is, or has heard of Bhishmadev? Please put your hand up. Okay. So Bhishmadev, who here knows about the Mahabharat that exists? So most of us. The Mahabharat is described to be one of the most fantastic stories within human society, because, and I'm sure most of us have seen, there have been serials, books, so many types of media depicting the Mahabharat and telling the stories. Bhishmadev is described to be one of the 12 Mahajans. A Mahajan is one of those great devotees. There are 12 great devotees that we can accept as authority, as examples for our life. There is Brahma, Narada, Shiva, the 4 Kumaras, Kapila, Swayambhu Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janaka, Bali, Shukadev Goswami, Yamaraj, and Bhishmadev. So Bhishmadev, his whole life is an example for everybody else. Now, how his birth happened is that Mother Ganga took birth. She was cursed to take birth on earth. That rhymes. She took birth on earth, and during her time on this earth, she fell in love with one king. This king's name was Shantanu Maharaj. And when they got married, actually Shantanu Maharaj made the first move and asked if he could marry Ganga. And Ganga accepted. But she accepted on one condition. She said, "You can marry me, but there is one condition. This entire marriage, you should not question anything I do." And I don't know how many people are married, but this is something that everyone faces. But she really was standing by this. She said, "You cannot question one thing I do. The day you question anything I do, I will leave. I will no longer accept this marriage." So he accepted this because he was very attracted to Mother Ganga. And years passed, and they were ruling their kingdom. And the time came for an heir for the kingdom to come. So they decided to have some children. And when they had the first child, for a king, having the heir of their kingdom is a very important thing. It's something that they very, very much look forward to, This is the most important thing for their life. Their most important duty is to rule over the kingdom. And that means the future, the past, the present of the kingdom. The only way to rule and make sure that the future of the kingdom is nice is to have some nice heir of the kingdom. So he was very, very excited to have some heir, his first child of the royal family. So they had the first child, and Maharaj Shantanu was very excited. But then he noticed Mother Ganga, she took the child eventually, after taking birth. Took it to the Ganges, the river Ganges, which is non-different from Mother Ganga, but she was in a human form in this. And she's also this holy body of water. She took this child and threw the child into the Ganges. Now this is very perplexing. Why would she do this? This is Mother Ganga. And Maharaj Shantanu, he was heartbroken when he saw this. His wife has just thrown his firstborn child into the Ganges. This is his most important thing that he's living for. But his vow was to never question Mother Ganga. So he let it be. He didn't question it. Then the second child came. And Mother Ganga did the exact same thing. She took the child and threw it into the Ganges. Then the third child, she threw it into the Ganges. The fourth child, she threw it into the Ganges. This whole time, Maharaj Shantanu is just thinking, what is happening? But he's not allowed to question. All his children, his wife is just throwing and killing into the Ganges. Very perplexing. Then the fourth child, the fifth child, sixth child, seventh child, all thrown into the Ganges. Eventually the eighth child came. And Mother Ganga, with the child, was walking towards the Ganges. And Shantanu Maharaj just couldn't take it anymore. 7 of his children were killed by his own wife, their mother. And he stopped her. He said, stop, this is ridiculous now. My 8th child you're going to kill as well? He questioned her, even though he vowed not to. He had a whole rant at her saying, how can you do this? I don't understand. Why would you do this? Then Mother Ganga stopped and started to explain. There were 8 personalities within the heavenly planets as well, before this birth on earth. And they were also cursed to reside and take birth on this earth planet. But because they did not want, this earth planet is very miserable. And they did not want to live in this earth planet, because compared to the heavenly planets, the earth planet is like the slums of the material world. And they were really heartbroken. They were sad that they were taking birth on this earth planet. So they went to Mother Ganga, and they somehow, to reduce the effects of taking birth on earth, they made a deal with Mother Ganga that as soon as they are born on the earth planet, Mother Ganga would kill them and they go back to the heavenly planets. Straight refund transaction. And so this was the reasoning. She was actually saving them from misery. This was the deal that they had. But this 8th child of these very powerful 8 personalities, Maharaj Shantanu stopped him from going back to the heavenly planets. And then Mother Ganga said, well, you've questioned me. Now our marriage is no more. I will leave from here. You can keep the child, since you've stopped me. This child can live. So then Maharaj Shantanu, he's cleared up his mind. He understood everything that was going on and was like, wait, now this child is ours and he'll be living. I want the best upbringing for this child. So please, you take this child. And Mother Ganga accepted. She went to the heavenly planets with the child. This child's name was Devavrata. In Devavrata, Mother Ganga took him to heavenly planets for 12 years, his 12 initial years. And he was trained by the best of the best in everything. In the heavenly planets, there are personalities like this that are trained in the best kind of subjects. He was trained by Brihaspati. And all the great warriors and brahmanas, they taught him, the expert in military science. They taught him all kinds of Vedic philosophy. They taught him all kinds of knowledge and skills. It got to the point that he was so qualified that from analysis of him, everyone was saying that he is pretty much trained to be the best king in all the universe. This was his qualifications. This is what he was trained up to be. And he was trained like this at the age of 12. 12 years later, after this incident with Shantanu Maharaj and Mother Ganga, he was wondering what has happened with my child. He had no contact with his child for 12 years. And eventually he went to the banks of the Ganges and prayed to Mother Ganga, where is my child? How is he? Prayed. He was praying to Mother Ganga. And he had no answer, but then eventually he saw that in the Ganga there was a dam. You know, a dam for rivers that you see? There was a dam that was there, made purely from arrows shot at the ground. And the dam was designed in such a way that Mother Ganga was not flowing in the direction that she was supposed to. She was flowing in the opposite direction. Now, often dams can change the trajectory of the body of water if it's flowing, maybe in a left or right. But never you would see an expert dam that was moving the opposite direction that it was meant to move. So he was wondering, who has done this? And he was praying to Mother Ganga at the same time. And Mother Ganga introduced him to Devavrata. Devavrata, the expert warrior who has been trained by the best of the best warriors in all the universe. He was trained by Parshuram himself. He was trained by Krishna in his avatar, his Brahma Kshatriya avatar. The same Parshuram who was able to control his axe at the speed of his mind. He was able to kill armies within seconds by himself. The same Parshuram who killed 21 generations? 21 generations of Kshatriyas because of their misdeeds that they were performing on earth. And this caused the Kshatriyas, the corrupt Kshatriyas, to move to all different kinds of places as trying to escape Parshuram because no one could defeat Parshuram. He was Krishna himself, the greatest warrior. And Devavrata was trained by Parshuram himself. How great of a warrior could he be? Often, when a teacher teaches a student, they want to teach that student so that student becomes even greater than the teacher. A good teacher does this. So this is Parshuram training Devavrata. So Mother Ganga handed over Devavrata. And now Shantanu Maharaj would take care of Devavrata, this 12-year-old boy. But 12-year-old boy, but very fierce, warrior-like boy, following all his duties very nicely. So then time passed, and Shantanu Maharaj, there's a story of him meeting one non-royal girl, I forget her name, Satyavati. And he was astounded by Satyavati's beauty, to the point that he wanted to marry Satyavati. So he did the right thing to do. He approached Satyavati, asked for her hand in marriage, because now he was, he's not married anymore. Often it's in Vedic culture, in the ancient times, it's okay to have multiple wives out of protection. But he was asking Satyavati's hand in marriage. And Satyavati said, okay, I accept, but you have to ask my father. You have to get my father's approval. So he went to the father and introduced himself, tried to, butter him up and allow him to ask for his daughter's hand in marriage. Her father said no, because he wanted his grandson to be the next king. He wanted that grandson to be taken care of very nicely by the royal family. But there was a problem. There is already an heir to the throne. And not just any heir, an heir that has been trained to be the best king in the entire universe. So why would you not have him as king? Even if they somehow, Maharaj Shantanu said, okay, my son, this son with Satyavati, will be the king. The people will be outraged. Because if you have a qualified king and one that is not qualified, which one would you pick? The most qualified one. So this was hard for Shantanu Maharaj to listen to. They can't do anything about it. And he was declined Satyavati's hand in marriage. So he went back and he was really, really depressed that he didn't get this approval of Satyavati's hand in marriage. So what happened? Devavrata saw this. And for him, his father is the father is the first guru in everybody's family. When a child is born, the father is the first teacher that the child has. So he's just seeing his first ever guru, his father, being declined and depressed. A student or a son does not want to see their father unhappy. They want to do whatever there is possible to keep them happy. So Devavrata heard of what happened. He got declined. So he went to Satyavati's father and he asked, please, accept my father. He wants to marry your daughter. Please accept. And then Satyavati's father explained the situation, why he's not accepting. Said, okay, I promise I won't be king. I give a vow. And not just that, I give a vow to be a brahmachari so that even my heirs will not become king. A brahmachari means celibate for life. So he made this vow, and this is one of the biggest vows that anyone can give. And because he made this vow, Satyavati's father accepted. This vow became like world news, universe news, that even the demigods heard about it and they were amazed that Devavrata made this vow. And from that day on, when he made that vow, the demigods, they were showering flowers and flowers from the heavenly planets onto Devavrata. Because he just made such a powerful vow just for the happiness of his father. And from then on, he was pronounced the name Bhishma. Because Bhishma means one who accepts a very, very, very difficult vow. So Bhishmadev now has made a vow to be celibate, a brahmachari for life. In this way, the kingdom will not go on if he is a celibate brahmachari. Therefore, the kingdom has to go to Satyavati and Shantanu's son. Years passed, and different stories were there. I won't explain them because we don't have enough time. But just for context, there is also another vow from another story. Not a vow, but a blessing, that Bhishmadev was granted. Somehow he had the boon, the benediction, the blessing that he would only die when he chooses to. His father gave because of a prize of that. Okay. So there's a story. His father, Shantanu Maharaj, gave the blessing that he could only die when he wanted to. Now, who can claim that they can do this? Normally, death awaits us. We cannot control death. But Bhishmadev had the power. Only when he was ready, only when he was willing, he could leave his body. So just imagine, he has been trained by the best of the best warriors, the brahmanas, ministers, prime ministers, to become the best king of all, best warrior of all. As well as that, he is not just a great warrior, he has a boon that he cannot die if he wants to. Who can defeat him in battle? So he's one of the greatest warriors to have ever lived. Now if we fast forward in time to Bhishmadev's death, of course everybody knows there is the war of Kurukshetra, and the whole of Mahabharat, the stories go on. The war of Kurukshetra between the Pandava side and the Kaurava side. A huge family feud with thousands and thousands of people fighting against each other, bloodshed everywhere. One of the greatest wars to have ever happened. And Bhishmadev was on the side of the Kauravas, the opposing side. Pandavas had Krishna on their side. They had God on their side. And the Kauravas had Bhishma, the greatest warrior they could be. Now, how can this be? How can Bhishmadev, who was a staunch Krishna devotee, he was a devotee of the Lord, how can he be on the bad side? How can he pledge allegiance to the bad side? To the opposing side? That side was embodying evil and bad qualities. How could he, such a educated person, be on that side? We'll go into the reasoning afterwards. But as time goes on, the Pandavas have to win because they are the good side. That is the side that Krishna is on. So the Pandavas have to win. During the war, as the war is going on, one night, because the Pandavas highly respected Bhishmadev, the Pandavas and Bhishmadev. Bhishmadev was the Pandavas' grandfather. And they very much respected Bhishmadev. He was a very close grandfather to them. One night, the Pandavas, all of them, went to Bhishmadev's quarters, opposing side quarters. They snuck there. And they met with Bhishmadev, even though they were on opposing sides. And they asked Bhishmadev, very heartfully, even Arjuna asked actually, Bhishmadev, grandfather, we have to kill you to win the war. Please instruct us how we can kill you. How can we kill you, Bhishmadev? Because even you have a boon that you can only die when you want to. So they thought Bhishmadev would be very surprised by this and be like, you want to kill me? I'm your grandfather. Actually, Bhishmadev started smiling. He had a huge smile on his face. It's like, I was waiting for you to ask me this question. And he gave a full blueprint plan to how to kill him. He planned his entire death. He said to Arjuna, you should shoot me like this, have this person by your side, do all of these arrangements, and kill me in this way, at this time, with these people watching. So then they took the instruction. And the following day, it was time for Bhishmadev to go about his plan. So as per the plan, Arjuna had shot an amazing amount of arrows at Bhishmadev. So many arrows, and with such force, they penetrated his armor straight through his body. Not just sticking out, like you see in movies, the arrows stick out of the body from the front. They went through his body, out the back. And they would stick out of his back. So many arrows all across his body, down his legs where he couldn't move. Can you imagine the pain that someone would feel from that amount of arrows that goes in their body? And Bhishmadev fell back. And he was on a bed of arrows. Now this is actually a Kshatriya's dream. And Bhishmadev was one of the ultimate Kshatriyas. There are 4 different divisions of life, occupations. There is the Brahmana, there is the Kshatriya, there is the Vaishya, and the Shudra. The Brahmanas are the teachers. The Shudras are the workers, the labor class. The Vaishyas are the businessmen, the people that are very money-minded, strategic-minded, businessmen that work big deals. And the Kshatriyas are the administrators and warriors, soldiers. So politicians and warriors, they all count in the Kshatriya field. Now Kshatriyas, they're very fearsome. And if you imagine Bhishmadev being the ultimate Kshatriya, the ultimate warrior, his dream, if you think Kshatriyas, they always think about death. I want to die with honor. I want to die fighting. They very much like fighting. It gives them a lot of energy. For a Kshatriya, for most people who are not Kshatriyas, if they see blood, they cower. They're like, oh, blood. It's very disgusting. For a Kshatriya, if they see blood, they get energetic. They have more power. They see blood and, I'll fight more. So you imagine Bhishmadev, he's been shot through, and he's like, this is a Kshatriya's death. My bed, I don't die. I'm not going to die in a soft bed, cushioned from some very luxurious place, a palatial place. He wants to die on a bed of arrows like a warrior does. So this happens. And Bhishmadev doesn't die on that day. He lays there. The entire war of Kurukshetra stops. Everybody stops fighting. Just like in England, in the Western world, it's very famous. In World War I, on Christmas Day, everybody stopped fighting to play football. This was a very historical matter. This war was 100 times bigger than World War I. They call World War I the Great War. Kurukshetra was the greatest war. Every single soldier stopped fighting. And they all were there to honor Bhishmadev's death. He's the greatest warrior the universe has ever seen. They all stop. Bhishmadev has a certain party around him to honor his death. Krishna, he went to Yudhishthir, the eldest Pandava, the eldest brother of the Pandavas, because now they had won the war somehow through the fighting. The Pandava side, obviously, the side that Krishna, God, is on, obviously that war will win. So now they've won the war, the Pandavas have. And Yudhishthir, because he is the oldest brothers of the Pandavas, he is the heir of the throne. So Krishna instructs Yudhishthir to go to Bhishmadev, because Bhishmadev was the most qualified king that anybody could have heard of. So he says, go to Bhishmadev and learn from him. He is coming soon, he will die. So go to him and beg for him to teach you how to be a good king. Now actually this part in the Mahabharat is a very big book. And the biggest part of the Mahabharat, the biggest section of the Mahabharat is Bhishmadev's conversation with Yudhishthir on the bed of arrows. There's about 300 chapters on this, because he's fully just explaining how to run a kingdom, how to run an economy, how to run the people's lives very nicely. He was the most qualified source. So can anybody guess how long this conversation went on for? 300 chapters within the Mahabharat. The Gita was spoken, some people say, in around 45 minutes. There's no scriptural evidence of this, but some people say it was 45 minutes. Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Shukadev Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit, how many days did he speak for? 7 days. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Ramananda Rai spoke for 10 days. What Yudhishthir heard from Bhishmadev went on for 54 days. Everybody had stopped fighting and everybody was listening for 54 days. Now the question is, after this, what was Bhishmadev waiting for? He was supposed to leave his body on this bed of arrows. He had made the entire plan for it to happen. Now, as we said at the start of the class, he left his body on the day of Makar Sankranti. This is also the day of Uttarayan, where the sun is in a specific position. It rises from a specific position. Very auspicious. And the external reason is that, externally we see that Uttarayan means very auspicious place for the sun to be. So Bhishmadev, some people will say Bhishmadev chose a very auspicious time to leave, because he could choose. Well, the internal reason of this timing, Uttarayan does not just mean where the sun is coming. Uttara was a woman. Uttarayan is the offspring of Uttara. So he was waiting for Uttarayan, means he was waiting for the offspring of Uttara, who was in the womb of Uttara. Does anybody know who this person was? No? Krishna. There's different names of different people, but it's explained that Krishna, Uttarayan, why he was waiting for Uttarayan is because he was waiting for Krishna. He waited 54 days for Krishna. He was explaining everything. He was waiting all this time. The ultimate part of the plan was that he wanted to take darshan of Krishna. He wanted to meditate and see his face and leave his body. So after this 300 chapter lesson that he gave to Yudhishthir, Krishna came and gave Bhishmadev his darshan. And from this, when he was viewing Krishna and seeing Krishna, tears were flowing down his face. He was in so much pain, but he tolerated. And from this, he recited a beautiful bhajan, a beautiful song glorifying Krishna, called the Bhishma Stuti. It's quite famous. And this is Bhishmadev, the ultimate warrior's prayers to God. Prayers to Krishna, personal prayers. And if you actually read it, I don't know if we have time. We will read it, and you'll just see, it's so distinct how a warrior sees God. In Vraj, the village people, they see God as a coward boy. He's one of our boys. In South India, they see God as a full of awe and reverence. We should respect him with full of awe and reverence. He's this great being, and you should really bow down and surrender to him. Such a great person. In Gujarat, there is a different mood. In different places, there are different moods for different people. For a warrior, is a very weird, different type of way they see God and what they find beautiful. So, if we have enough time, I think after this we'll explain some lessons, just quickly, of Bhishmadev. So these are the words that Bhishmadev recited to Krishna, glorifying Krishna whilst viewing him. Bhishmadev said, "Let me now invest my thinking, feeling and willing, which was so long engaged in different subjects and occupational duties, in the all-powerful Lord Krishna. He is always self-satisfied, but sometimes, being the leader of the devotees, he enjoys the transcendental pleasure by descending to the material world, although from him only the material world is created." Next. Sri Krishna is the intimate friend of Arjuna. He has appeared on this earth in his transcendental body, which resembles the bluish color of the tamal tree. His body attracts everyone in the 3 planetary systems, upper, middle, and lower. May his glittering yellow dress and his lotus face, covered with paintings of sandalwood pulp, be the object of my attraction, and may I not desire fruitive results. On the battlefield, where Sri Krishna attended Arjuna out of friendship, the flowing hair of Lord Krishna turned ashen due to the dust raised by the hoofs of the horses, and because of his labor, beads of sweat wetted his face. All these decorations, intensified by the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows, were enjoyed by him. Let my mind thus go unto Sri Krishna. In the obedience to the command of his friend, Lord Sri Krishna entered the arena of the battlefield of Kurukshetra between the soldiers of Arjuna and Duryodhana, while there he shortened the lifespans of the opposite party by his merciful glance. This was done simply by his looking at the enemy. Let my mind be fixed upon that Krishna. When Arjuna was seemingly polluted by ignorance upon observing the soldiers and commanders before him on the battlefield, the Lord eradicated his ignorance by delivering transcendental knowledge. May his lotus feet always remain the object of my attraction. Fulfilling my vow and sacrificing his own promise, he got down from the chariot, took up his wheel, and ran towards me hurriedly. Just as a lion goes to kill an elephant, he even dropped his outer garment on the way. May he, Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who awards salvation, be my ultimate destination. On the battlefield, he charged me, as if angry because of the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows. His shield was scattered, and his body was smeared with blood due to the wounds. At the moment of death, let my ultimate attraction be Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. I concentrate my mind upon the chariot driver of Arjuna, who stood with a whip in his right hand and a bridle rope in his left, who was very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariot by all means. Those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original forms after death. Let my mind be fixed upon Lord Sri Krishna, whose motions and smiles of love attracted the damsels of Vrajadam, the gopis. The damsels imitated the characteristics, movements of the Lord after his disappearance from the rasa dance. At the Rajasuya Yajna sacrifice performed by Maharaj Yudhishthir, there was the great assembly of all elite men of the world, the royal and learned orders, and in the great assembly, Lord Sri Krishna was worshipped by one and all as the most exalted personality of Godhead. This happened during my presence, and I remember this incident in order to keep my mind upon the Lord. Now I can meditate with full concentration upon that one Lord Sri Krishna, now present before me, because now I have transcended the misconceptions of duality in regard to his presence in everyone's hearts. Even in the hearts of mental speculators, he is in everybody's hearts. The sun may be perceived differently, but the sun is one. Thus Bhishmadev merged himself into the Super Soul, Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with his mind, speech, sight, and actions, and thus he became silent, and his breathing stopped. Bhishmadev ki jai. So this is how Bhishmadev had left his body. 54 days of preparation, 54 days of waiting. So what can we learn? We have enough time, just 5 minutes, 5 minutes. So what can we learn from Bhishmadev's life? How was he such an example for everyone? We are not all warriors, we are not all Kshatriyas. But what can we learn from such an exalted devotee? Because he is a Mahajan, he is authority for us. He is the very, very powerful authority for us. It is said for many people that when you want to see your true self and how you act properly in life, observe yourself when you are in pain or when you are alone. This is when your true self comes out. There's no one to see you. You're by yourself, so you don't have to show off to anyone. You don't have to act independent of anyone. And in pain, you're completely helpless. You can't think of anything else. You're surrendered to pain because pain will be there. Think how much pain Bhishmadev had for 54 days, keeping the wounds of dozens, hundreds, thousands of arrows pierced into his body, bleeding out onto the floor for 54 days. Yet for this time, he was speaking the highest instructions of running an economy, running a kingdom, and how to be a good devotee of the Lord. And he even worded an original, might I say, bhajan to Lord Krishna. He did not recite something he already knew. This was his words from his heart. This is on the door of death. It is said that only pure devotees of the Lord can be this conscious at the door of death. You see, when people are at the door of death, they lose their senses. They just talk about anything. They're just overwhelmed with pain and the situation. But pure devotees, great devotees, they have control over their body, that even at death they can speak about Krishna. They can speak. They have full consciousness. Now we can also give the example of Srila Prabhupada. if anybody has seen Srila Prabhupada, the very last video of his life, he is on his deathbed and he is still translating Srimad Bhagavatam with his last few breaths. To translate Srimad Bhagavatam, you need to hear, analyze, think, and also think about how you will word things. And Srila Prabhupada, because he was a pure devotee, relating to Bhishmadev, just this same kind of character, he has full consciousness to talk about Krishna, to think about Krishna. The goal of everyone's life, we said before, the most important day is the time of death. Why? Because this is the time when you'll be full of pain. And this is the time your consciousness must be fixed on Krishna. Because only if your consciousness is fixed on Krishna, then you can get out of this material world. This is the only time, the only kind of way you can go back to the supreme destination, back home, back to the spiritual world. That is the only way. All we are doing in our life is training so that we can die properly. Because if we waste our time in our life, then at death, we will have wasted it and taken another birth. This human form of life is so precious because it's the only doorway out of this miserable world. This world is described as the material world. A miserable world full of duality, full of misery, and full of unhappiness. And our home, where we came from, is described as the spiritual world, where Krishna is residing, where we can live with Krishna. That is actually where we came from. And we came down to this material world because we had some thought. Let me enjoy without Krishna. I don't need Krishna. I don't need God. So let me enjoy without it. So Krishna says, okay, if you want that, I will give you it because I love you. So he sends us to this material world full of reincarnation into dogs and hogs, insects and animals. In an animal kingdom where you're always looking over your shoulder for predators. And then when you get to the human form of life, the human form of life is the most precious because it's the only form of life where you can think about God, where you can perceive God, where you can think there's a spiritual world. There's so much science behind this. Who is Krishna? What is my relationship with Krishna? Where am I? How do I solve misery? How do I get away from misery? The only way is to get out of this miserable world because it's designed for misery. So the time of death is the test. The time of death is when you are tested. Can you really point your consciousness towards Krishna? Can you really think about Krishna? Can you really meditate on Krishna? Because at the time of death, only that matters. And our entire life, why we come to temple, why we chant, why we sing the Lord's holy names, why we read Srila Prabhupada's books, why we eat prasadam, our lifestyle, our entire life is meant for a training for death. We live to die properly. And Bhishmadev was the ultimate example of this. How do you prepare yourself for death? And what is the aim? Be conscious and think of Krishna. On the bed of arrows, the last thing he did was see Krishna and direct his consciousness towards Krishna. So this is what we must do. Train our entire life. Why we come to temple is because we do this. We train our life in this way. It might be quite hard, But why we come to temple is because we have so many devotees to help us. We have so much association. We have so much resources. We have Srila Prabhupada's books. We do kirtan here. We talk with devotees. We have prasadam. We do service. All of this becomes much easier when we come to temple. And we associate with devotees. And we read Srila Prabhupada's books. And we chant. This is not something just to do in the temple. It's something to do all the time. The temple is just a very helpful matter to do it. So everyone should take advantage of this. And we spoke about those 4 different ashrams. Kshatriya, Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra. You can abide by your duty to the best extent. You can be the best Kshatriya, the best Brahmana, the best doctor, the best teacher, the best warrior, the best politician. But if you do not keep Krishna at the center, it is worthless. This is what is taught by Bhishmadev. It's all worthless. Because then you're still here in this material world. Sure, you made it very nice. You've made some nice arrangement for it to live. But that won't fix anything. Misery will be there at every corner. One of the main things, I will end on this point, what Bhishmadev taught us is how to deal with pain. I just said that this world is full of misery. That means pain. This can be a stomachache, this can be a headache, this can be hunger, this can be desires that never get fulfilled. Pain will be there. The way to deal with pain is described by Bhishmadev. It is acted out by Bhishmadev. Actually, I was thinking this the other day. There is no educational institution in the world that teaches you how to deal with pain. In school, are you ever taught how to deal with pain? In any university, are you ever taught how to deal with pain? Even though pain is a thing, people don't know how to deal with it. It's a very prominent problem in the world. In the mental health problem today, there's so many mental health problems people have. There's pain in the mind, but people don't know how to deal with it. How to deal with the pain. I see in school, when I went to school, I'd hear in the morning everybody complaining about being tired, coming to school. They don't know how to deal with the pain of it. But here, within ISKCON, and any Vedic philosophy that we have, there is a direct lesson from it, how to deal with pain. In society today, society creates inventions. They're pushing for inventions to overcome pain. That doesn't work. They have created cars, so you don't need to go by horse. You don't need to have the pain of waiting. They have phones, so you can talk to your friend, so you don't have the pain of missing them. Now, recently we were seeing this virtual reality headsets. Instead of going out of your door, the pain of moving your body to see your friend, they've created this metaverse, this technological universe for you to live in, where you see an avatar, digital avatar of your friend, and you can interact with them this way. Because they don't want to deal with the pain of walking out your house and going to their house or visiting them. It's crazy, huh? This is what all inventions are for. It can be described anyway, but anyways. They want to block out the pain, but that won't work because pain will be there. So there are 3 things to do when it comes to pain, as described in the Vedas. The first thing you need to do to solve pain, okay, I'll say the 3 things though. The first thing is to adjust your expectation. The second thing is to accept your situation. And the third thing is to aspire for connection. How can we say this? If you adjust your expectation that there will be pain, then you're not surprised. There will be less pain. Adjust your expectation, because there will be pain in the world. I guarantee it. Even if you do this metaverse thing, your eyes will hurt from looking at a screen all day. There will be pain. The second, to accept your situation, accept a reality, accept the world for how it is. Do not live in a fantasy world where you deny how the world works and therefore, you'll block out the pain. That won't work. You cannot just say, nowadays there's this whole thing of people claiming they are different things and claiming their identities are different things. And because of this, there's pain that's been caused of that. They don't want to accept the situation that they're in. And the third thing is to aspire for connection. Aspire to connect to Krishna. Because the only way for pain to go is to leave the place that pain is there. And how do we do that? We try and connect with Krishna. If we connect with Krishna, then we can be with Him in the spiritual world where there is literally no kind of pain there. That's the only way. You leave if there's a room with pain inside and there's a room that there's no pain, which one are you going to go in? The one with no pain. This material world that we're living in is the room with pain. So the only way to do this is to aspire for connection with Krishna, come to temple, and associate with devotees, read the books, chant the holy names of the Lord, eat prasadam, and do service. Does anybody have any questions on this matter? Yes, Prabhu. Oh, yes, this is a very important point. Thank you for pointing out. I forgot to explain this. Bhishmadev was completely loyal and surrendered to Krishna. The external, so there's two reasons for this. There's an external reason and an internal reason. The external reason is that he created some alliance. He made a vow that he'd protect the Kauravas' side through some politics with the family. That's the external reason. And as you see from a Kshatriya, he abides by his vow. It's very close to him. And the internal reason, the deeper reason, is he did this. He fought against Krishna on the other side to show that even with a personality like Bhishmadev, who is expert in every single skill that you can name, that is the ultimate fighter that can destroy armies. He even defeated Parshuram in a fight from his training. Even with him on the opposing side of God, whatever side that has Krishna or the good spiritual qualities there, always, in every single situation there is, the good spiritual Krishna conscious side will always prevail. Even with someone like Bhishmadev, the greatest warrior that can be, even if he is on the opposing side, if you have Krishna, if you have devotees on one side, the devotees will win. And Bhishmadev knew this. He planned this out so that he could show everyone. This war, he knew, this war will be documented, spoken about for thousands of years, tens of thousands of years, for millions of years. He knew this war would be spoken about. So he did this. And to please Krishna, he did this so the pastime can be even more juicy, you could say. Does that answer the question? Thank you. Any other questions? No? Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We'll have some kirtan now.
Hare Krishna. Did you enjoy today's class? We are all fighting warriors. We all have our heroes, heroes and superheroes. Now there is what is called Avengers. Have you heard of Avengers? Thanos. Yeah. So we all have, fictitious superheroes. But Bhishmadev is the real superhero. In this whole creation, there was nobody as powerful as Bhishmadev who walked on this creation. Very, very powerful personality. So if you want to have your hero's photo in your house, you should take this person's photo and stick it on your wall. This is my hero, and I follow him. So many lessons to learn from Bhishmadev. Balram tried his best to learn something from his lifetime. So thank you very much, Balram, for a beautiful class. We'll do a kirtan now. We'll chant and dance. This is how we prepare for our death. We all prepare everything, isn't it? Tomorrow I have to go to school, I have to go to business, so let's go back to bed. Let's go to bed early. We always plan everything. Are we planning our death, which is going to happen sooner or later? Are we planning for it? So by coming to the temple, by being with the devotees, chanting Krishna's name, living a very God-conscious lifestyle, we're preparing for the death. So after the death, we go to a better place. So let's chant together for a few minutes, and then we'll have prasadam for everyone. Hare Krishna. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Dishatarane Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radhe Jai, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल। जयम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य स्तोत्र ऋषत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणार वृंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की, प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड श्री गिरि गोवर्धन की। श्री वृंदावन धाम की। श्री नवदीप मायापुर धाम की। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की। गंगा माई की, जमुना माई की, भक्ति देवी की, तुलसी महारानी की, कलियुग पावन श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, बृहत मृदंग ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की, ट्रांसेंडेंटल प्रसादम डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glorious assembled devotees, Hare. All glorious assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glorious assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. The sing prayers singers.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Praladala dadahine Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha Shilatanka Nakalae Ito Nasimha Parato Nasimha. Yeto Yamita To Nasimha. Bahe Nasimho Ridaye Nasimho. Narasimhapadim Sharanam Prapade. Tava Kara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Shringa Dalida Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Keshav Trita Narahari Rupa Jajagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Narasimhadev, 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 Jaya Narasimhadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya 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 Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Harinath Sankirtan ki, Narasimha Dev ki, Balram Maharaj ki. Mahabharat Govinde, Nama Brahmani Vishnuve, Shapa Punya Vatamlajan, Ta Sona Vajayate, Shariyana Vityajan, Tunjurin Jevadaika, Jive Fele Ushaya Sagade, Taramati Divati, Lobamaya Surumati, Taki Jeta Karan Sansare, Lobama Nabaro Diramai, Kori Baya Divajai, Tapapun Vandabai, Sena Maritapa, Hare Krishna Gurga, Krishna Kushi Chaitanyanatai, Janama Janatai, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Karagara, Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktarinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mahaprashanam ki.
Give a big applause to our celebrity singers. Hare Krishna. So anybody who has come for the first time or after a long time to our temple? Anybody first time today? No, we are all timers. Okay, so thank you very much for coming today. Today's feast is sponsored by Dr. Ravi in Madhu Belgamvar. Mataji, thank you so much Doctor for sponsoring today's Prashadam. Prashadam is ready upstairs. You can make your way upstairs and have another Prashadam. Hare Krishna.